next few lessons, you're going to be practicing turning your robot right and left, and a couple of different exercises that you're going to be using to rotate your NXT to move in different directions. So I want to go over degree specific with you, because this is a measurement that Enchanting uses and communicates with the NXT brick in order for it to know how far or wide it needs to turn. So if you notice here, this block right here says start turning left at 720, and this right here stands for degree specific. So if you don't remember your angles, take a moment, review them. 90-degree angle is a perfect corner of a square, 180 would be turning around, 360 would be a complete circle and back to where you started. So that's just a really quick guide to degree specific, but take a look at your angles because you might not want to turn that far. You might want to use a protractor to have precise measurement of how far your bot needs to turn. So definitely take a look at that if you're not as familiar. I want to just quickly show you how you would program your NXT to make a turn. So depending on which direction we want to turn, we would have to alter the degree specific measurements. So if I wanted to just quickly put some of these together to start writing a program, and so when we start, we want to start turning, we want to just start turning forward, and maybe we want to turn forward for just a moment. And then maybe we want to turn left. So if we want to turn left, the left degree needs to be smaller than the right, because we want it to turn a little bit less than the right, which is how we're going to get it to turn left. So 200, let's say, which is not quite a full circle, and 400. So it's a bit wider for the right turn. So that would make our NXT robot turn a little bit more to the left, and that right motor won't turn as much as the left, which is how we're able to make it turn left. And then maybe we want to only turn at that speed for 1 second, and then we will stop our left and right motors. If I wanted to have my robot turn right, well, I could just change these around like that. So now it would turn right because the degree specific number is set lower to my right motor than it would be my left. So you could just change the numbers. So whichever way you want it to turn, so if you want it to turn left, that number needs to be smaller than the right. If you want it to turn right, well then that number needs to be smaller than the left. So that's one way to program your NXT robot to turn. And if you wanted your NXT robot to spin around in a circle, we would need to program it a little bit differently. So if we want it to spin, we want both the right and left motors to be set at the same speed. But because we want them to split different ways, one of these numbers needs to be a negative number. Doesn't matter which one, just one of them needs to have a negative sign beside it. And that will in turn make your robot spin. So we could write a program that could say spin for a second and then stop. So those are just two different ways of using degree specific. So by turning your NXT at your left and your right motors at different degree specifics in order to make it turn different directions, or if you want it to spin, you would make it the same degree specific, but one number needs to be a negative number. So you're going to be trying those two activities out in the next few lessons, so go ahead and give it a try.